is the A Train Sports Talk Podcast. Picking up passengers city to city, state to state, coast to coast. And my guest this morning, let me tell you something about him. He got swag. He plays basketball with a flair and he plays with a passion. And the one thing I notice about him, I think he thrives on playing in enemy territory. Don't believe it? Check out some of his clips from Maize South. I was at the last game that they played against Maize South. Boy, got game. Got game. Even Stephen A. Smith would love to have him on his show. My guest, the one with swag, the one with passion, the one with flair, who bleeds the red and black of Maize Eagles. Don't get it twisted. My guest, Alan Hanna. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Man, the first time I seen you play, and it so happened it was also against Maize South. It was the rival game the year before at Maize South. And that was your junior year. Now, they eventually won the game, but y'all had a lead at halftime. And I don't know if you heard somebody from the stands say something, but when y'all was going out to go back to your locker room for halftime, you pointed up and said, look at the scoreboard. Fast forward this past year, and it was like a combined homecoming event going on. But the Maize South crowd, and I got some connection with them. I know people there as well, too, from doing this, and they've opened up their doors to me. But I stood on the Maize South by their student body, and I mean, they were just giving y'all the blues. And the game started out nice and tight. I mean, Cy Stuckey was carrying them. But I've seen a couple of backdoor plays and that awesome dunk you had. But my thing is how you interact with the crowd, how you don't let what the crowd do get up under you. And it's like, I got the last laugh. Where did you develop that type of demeanor and swag from, man? Because, like I said, it seemed like you thrive playing on enemy territory. So what's up with that?
It really started out when I'm trying to play basketball. I really get energy to get going. And some of the fans, even the opposing teams, kind of give it to me. So it starts out like start of the game. I'm doing my own thing. I'm scoring. I'm helping my team get points. and once the fans get going, and they're all like, "Oh, we're about to come back. We're about to do this, that." And it's really like, come on, show me now. Halftime comes. I can point the scoreboard. I know we're gonna be up.
Absolutely. So let's run back because we're gonna get back to your high school career. But at what age did you start playing the game of basketball? And sometimes I even forget to ask this question: is basketball your primary sport, or were you ever a two-sport athlete?
I started playing basketball in the second grade. It was my primary sport. It is now track.
Okay.
But yeah.
So throughout your basketball journey, who are some influences that have influenced you in the game of basketball, whether it be coaches, mentor, uh, maybe certain players that you look up to? What was it that attracted you to the game of basketball?
My older brother, he loves basketball. Sleeps with it. Like turn the TV on all the time. He's really my older brother, but he wanna pushes you to get better. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's definitely the biggest mentor. Helped me follow my basketball career. And then my dad. He never really played basketball, but he knows enough to understand that. I don't know the word. He knows enough to help me get through the roadblocks and everything.
Okay.
And then another mentor, probably Coach Grill. He's really been there since middle school, probably.
And speaking of Coach Grill, because it just came up, and I'm pretty sure that the program is going to be left in good hands. But he's been there coaching forever and a day. I mean, when you think of coaches with longevity, I'm gonna mention this other coach because y'all beat them in in the state tournament for the third place game. Y'all beat Wichita Heights. But you got coaches like Coach Grill and Coach Hour stepping down, and you think about that's a void left in the coaching ranks. So, just how much, since you brought his name up, just how much has Coach Grill meant to you and playing along with his sons? And I'm pretty sure you followed his other sons as well too. But how much of an impact has he been in your life?
Since my older brother is obviously like 4 years older than me, he hasn't really been around as much teaching me because he's doing his own thing at college. So I have Coach Grill helping me, get better physically, and then my dad mentally. So it really works out both ways.
All right. Now you mentioned you are also a track athlete, but basketball is your primary sport. Because I might have missed it, but what is your college of choice that you plan to attend? And if you haven't made that commitment, but if you have, what school did you commit to, and what was it that made you commit to that particular school?
Well, I'm going to Kansas State University for high jump. Picked them because they got a good coach and put me there. All the I got a whole bunch of teammates, and it's a really good facility there. They know they take care of the players.
All right, so you said you're going there for high jump.
Yep.
Is basketball in the future as well, though? Could it be? Maybe even as a walk-on.
Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about that a little bit. I don't know. I've had a few coaches tell me that I can definitely go somewhere with it. I still don't know though.
Hey, the way I see it, man, I haven't seen you on the track and field, but I've seen you on the basketball court. And I'm a big proponent. And maybe I need to be corrected. I've even heard some people say that there's not enough boys talent in the city, in the metro area, to garner any Division I looks. But I seen you, and my personal opinion was, if he don't go D1, he should at least go at least D2. And if he wants to just really, heighten his profile, maybe reclassify, go to a Sunrise and really challenge himself, go to a Sunrise. I think you got the skills to go to a college and play basketball. And someone would definitely, you'd be an impact on somebody's team. So how do you feel about the boys' side of things as far as college recruiters coming here and checking y'all out? Because like I say, if you bet on yourself, you would cash in at the bank.
I bet on myself 100%. Thank you for telling me all that. But still, we played our second game of state against Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Yeah,
they had Ethan Taylor. He a big deal. They got an Illinois commit, and I feel like we committed really well. We competed with them so well to the point that I'm pretty sure we had the closest point deficit. I'm not sure though. But I mean, they got all this talent, and we're just a bunch of underdogs, I guess.
Right. And on top of that, I believe y'all also knocked off the number 1 seed in order to play against Shawnee. So that in itself says, and then to turn around, y'all put that loss to Shawnee Mission Northwest out of y'all mind, and you came back and you said, you know what? We're going to play this third place game as if it's a championship game. And once again, you go up against a team that's pretty talented, going up against a Heights team, Chase Robinson or Malachi Wilkins. And all y'all do is, even my coworker, because his brother, Malachi, he said, man, who was that? I said, oh, that was Allen. That's who that was. I mean, it's plain and simple. And I know there's more to the team than Allen, which I know you're going to elaborate on that. What was it like playing with some of the teammates that you had, like a Grill and a Maivella? I can't think of the first names, but I got the last names right. What is it like playing with those guys? Because I know it has to be like a brotherhood, isn't it?
Yeah, strictly it's straight family there. We got a bunch of good pieces. Even come up the bench, we got the energy players, me. You got the shooters like Ty, Alec, and Charles. And we lose last names and first names.
Oh yeah, you could use first names. Yeah.
Okay.
Ty,
I couldn't get the shooters. And then we also got like the players that bring everyone together, like Braden, and off the bench you had Pearson Kingston. I mean, we really just fit well together. We also play super well together. Since me, Alec, and Charles been playing since sixth grade, probably.
All right. Now, who would you say, because conventional wisdom says that Maize South would be y'all's natural rival, the battle for Maize, bragging rights. But I also heard, through the grapevine, that Derby isn't too fond of you guys. So who would you say is y'all's biggest rival? Is it Maize South or is it Derby?
I mean, you really say both. Derby is Maize South hasn't always been that good, so Derby on the come up. Biggest rival though has to be Maize South, just because they're across town.
And I've talked to a few people, and they basically said that you have been a Maize Eagle pretty much lifer. Never thought about going anywhere else. Just bleed red and black.
Yep.
When was that ingrained in you? Because some people, because it's very easy to say, okay, here I am out here in Maize, Kansas. Nobody comes, watches nothing out here at Maize. And here you are making a name for yourself. So what would you say for those coming behind you? What would you say about the Maize program and why that's the place to be? Even though we know next year is going to look different, players graduating, Coach Grill won't be there. What would you say to the ones that's coming up behind you? What would you tell them to keep them encouraged to stick with Maize?
I mean, I can't really say too much because I don't know what's going to be. I don't know what's going to be like next year. Since I've stayed at Maize, I've played with Alec and Charles since that big. So I can't really say much. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, that's quite understandable. That's quite understandable. So, well, one thing I want to say is I want to appreciate you for being on this show. I mean, it was an honor when I seen you at Coke Arena. I'm like, I got to get you because, like I say, watching you play and the flair that you play with. I mean, it's like you played the game with pride. You played the game, and you want everybody to know, I'm Maize. I'm Maize Eagle. This is who I rep. And it looks like the school has been good to you, and look like you've been good to the school. Want to wish you the best luck at Kansas State. Although you're going to be running track and field, I won't have no problem with that because I also know another two sports star who starred at the crosstown rival, and she's at Butler County, freshman of the year. So, if that's the path that you end up going, I wish you nothing but the best. But I almost can promise, I bet I'll see you putting on a basketball uniform. Because it's like this. It's in your blood to play basketball. And I'm pretty sure when you hear that ball bouncing and you see those guys practicing, because I'm pretty sure you're going to venture over to the practice court and be like,
I definitely am.
And you be like, skin is going to, you're going to be like The Rock. You're going to have goosebumps and you're going to be like,
I'm going to be over there taking a peek. I hear the basketball outside the facility. Let me pick one up.
And then one of the players is gonna be like, hey, we know who you are. We seen your highlights. Hey, you think about walking on? We got an extra spot. And they've expanded it now to 15 scholarship players.
Yep.
So that's even more tempting. So I'm gonna put it out like this, ladies and gentlemen. My guest on the A Train Sports Talk podcast, Alan Hanna, will eventually, even though I would like to see him in black and yellow. Black and yellow. But I'm not mad that you made the decision that was best for you. And that's the best thing you could do is make the decision that's best for you. I do want to ask you this question, though. What was your grade point average?
Ooh, I don't know. Not off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure it was. All right, you said enough. You said it was 3 point something. So that for me, that's good enough. I want you to emphasize, because there will be some young people watching this, and I want you to sound the whistle. Why come it's important to have a good grade point average, and what is the importance of education?
Oh, for sure. Sports isn't gonna be there for that long. It's always gonna be a point where you can't play anymore. And you need something to back up on. Gotta have education.
I really appreciate that, because see, me being an older person, I would be expected to say that. But young people, when young people hear young people talking about it, as y'all say, it hits differently. So I definitely want to say thank you for putting in the plug for education, maintain that grade point average, because like you said, basketball ain't gonna last forever.
For sure.
You can run track, but you can only run so far.
Yep.
You can high jump, but you can only jump so high. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be that education, and they want to know what's in your brains, not what's on the field. So I want to say I appreciate you for that. And thank you for your time. We'll definitely have to do this again, because I want to keep up with your track and field career. Maybe basketball on the side, if that happens. But like I say, I'm glad you made the decision that was best for you, and wish you nothing but the best of luck. Who knows? You could be the next Ben Johnson, the next whoever the greatest high jumper is. I know whatever you do on that track and field, you're gonna be the best you can be. So once again, thank you for being on the show. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep, you too. Thanks for having me.
All right, my guest, Alan Hanna. It was great to have him on here, and we got some more to go on this show. We're gonna talk about some more things on here. So we're going to transition from my guest and get into some news that is happening on the national scene. So now, if you want to stick around and still join me for that, by all means, you can. But
I don't know about politics. I'm gonna leave.
No, we ain't gonna. Oh, I don't talk politics. I talk sports.
Okay, never mind. I still go leave. I got stuff.
All right, go ahead, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. All right, my guest, Alan Hanna, great young man. He has his head on straight. Like I say, if you've never seen him play on the basketball court, you definitely have missed a treat. Like I say, this young man, he plays with a flair. He plays with a passion. And like I say, he enjoys playing behind enemy lines. He feeds off of that energy from the opposing. Now, that does not mean that he doesn't enjoy his home crowd. But when that enemy crowd brings it, it takes it to a whole nother level. So, yeah, great guest, great student athlete. The emphasis is on student athlete. Get that. He said it plainly. The ball's going to stop bouncing. You can run, but you can only run so far. You can jump, but you can only jump so high. My player profile, Alan Hanna. Graduating this year from Made South, going on to Kansas State. I still believe he's going to be playing basketball. When it's in your blood, you can't help it. And whenever he puts on that basketball uniform and lace up them sneakers, can I tell you something? They're going to be like, where'd this kid come from? Who is he? I'm going to say, y'all seen him on my show. Y'all know who he is. I know who he is. Now, the college world knows who he is. But yes, very grateful to have such a great guest on my show. And he's no different. He's definitely a great guest. If you're watching, I want you to know that this is on YouTube, and I'm also streaming on twitch.tv as well as the Riverside FM platform. Also, I want you to know about something that is happening here in the area over the weekend. This is Easter weekend, Passover weekend, Good Friday weekend. Last week was Passover, I do believe. If you are hungry, you don't feel like fixing nothing to eat, you want to support somebody, you have time to text your orders to 316 259 6618. Pre-orders only, $15 for the meal. One meat, two extra size, $3. Here's what the menu is calling for: loaded baked potatoes, pick between ribeye, steak, chicken, or shrimp. Toppings include cheese, bacon, sour cream, and green onions. Also comes with garlic toast, a dessert, and a drink. This will be taking place on April the 19th. That is tomorrow from 2 p.m. until sold out. Call Crystal Walker or text 316 259 6618. Also, she takes Venmo Pay, and that will be at Lashes by Chris. That's LashesByKrys. Tell her you heard it on the A Train Sports Talk Video Podcast. She'll be glad to see you. She'll be glad that you supported her. All the above, and tell her you heard it right here. What I want to do is I want to shift things around. I normally talk a lot of high school stuff, and I'm still going to talk some high school stuff. As a matter of fact, what I want to do is I want to look back at some awards because I also have some questions about how some of these uh how these awards come about, how some can make these postseason teams and others are left off the team. It kind of amazes me. Uh, but I'm also talking some national stuff as well too because there's a lot going on the national scene. Uh, Matter of fact, I'm just getting a text again from another young man uh, who followed me right back, LJ Phillips. So we're definitely going to be looking at getting him on the show. Those of you who are familiar with Wichita Northwest High football, y'all know the name LJ Phillips. Synonymous with that program. Steve Martin, I know he's a proud coach. See what he's doing out there at South Dakota. Uh, just comes up out of nowhere. Uh, so we're definitely looking forward to someday getting him on. He just shot me a message, so we are definitely going to look forward to having him on here. And I can't help but to believe that he too is also a very humble young man. So we look forward to setting up that time and getting him on, talking about his high school career and talking about the college life. What is it like? I've seen some of his highlights, even seen a picture of him after a game, sign autograph for a little kid. Those are the things, those are the moments. And it's not about the money because at the school he's at, I know there's not no NIL cash flow. That's not to say that at some point, who knows, he hits the transfer portal and goes to an upper division school. But from what I'm looking at, he loves it where he's at. So, we're not going to look too far ahead into that. We're just gonna look forward to having him on the show one day. So y'all get ready for that because that's going to happen. I was supposed to have another guest on, but he was tied up. But we look forward to getting them on. I'm gonna let you know. We look forward to the day when Coach Jordan Murdoch Sr. will be on this show. I have some history with his family. Went to school with I believe that'd be his uncle, and of course those of you who are familiar with the Murdoch family, Johnny Murdoch ended up going to back in the day, it was known as Southwest Missouri State. He was an all conference player, I do believe. Of course, Jordan, he played at Hush Community College with Steve Ack. Uh, I mean, the man has been around winning pretty much all his life. So, Kansas Western University, they got them a good one in charge. So, we look forward to also having him on the show as well, too. Moving right along, and I am getting ready to pull up some headlines here, and we're just going to roll and go with it. If I can pull this up, because, like I said, there's been a lot going on the scene, on the sports scene on the national level. So I am not going to even touch that one. And there's a reason I'm not going to touch that, because it has to do with Jason Whitlock, and I don't want to give him no. Just saying his name was bad enough. But looking here within the area on the college basketball scene, Wichita State has just recently is given second chance. Wichita State lands Temple transfer Dylan Beatty. I believe that's how that name is pronounced. The contributing writer for this story right here would be Taylor Elrich, who always has good stories to write. I mean, that's just what he does. He's a guest I've had on my podcast as well, too. The traditional way of doing it. We're going to get his mug shot up here on the video side of it. Yeah, y'all could tell him I said that. I'm pretty sure he would get a good laugh out of that. I really do believe he would get a real good laugh out of that. Yeah, like that. Some people, when you have them on your show, it just makes the show go that much more better. See, the way I'm up here just rambling around. But anyway, when Dylan Beatty arrived for his recruiting visit to Wichita State on Tuesday, WSU men's basketball coach Paul Mills greeted him with a straightforward message. He says, "I missed out on you last time," Mills told him. "I'm going to get you to be a shocker this time around." True to his word, Mills' presentation to the 6'8", 210-pound forward was convincing enough to land a commitment from Beatty on Thursday. After missing out on services of the former top 150 recruit in the class of 2024 last year to Temple, WSU made the most of its second chance, with Beatty entering offers in the transfer portal this spring. "I wanted to find a school that really believed in me and wanted to help me develop into a really good basketball player," Beatty said. "I had a really good connection with Coach Paul Mills. He showed me the plan, and I loved it, and I bought into the plan." Beatty playing sparingly in his freshman season at Temple, where he averaged 3.6 points and 1.8 rebounds in 7.8 minutes per game. He offers a high upside play for the Shockers at a position of need in the front court, as Beatty is the prototypical stretch forward for American Athletic Conference play. In high school, Beatty flashed top-notch athleticism with a smooth outside stroke while playing for Team Trae Young on the Adidas Three Stripes Select basketball circuit in 2023. He attracted interest from several Power Five conference programs while he took an official visit to San Jose State earlier this spring before committing to WSU. The challenge for Mills will be to extract that potential from Beatty, a process that the player seemed excited to begin in Wichita in June. Paul Mills is a great developmental coach, and I can't wait to get there and start working, Beatty said. I like the way he handled business. He's straight to the point, and that's the type of coach that I like. I think with the pieces that he's bringing in, we could be really good, and I want to help and be a part of that. So Beatty joins UNC Greensboro guard Kenyon Giles and East Tennessee State wing Karan Boyd as additions from the transfer portal, while WSU has also signed Barton Community College guard Keandre Kendall and high school products Tyrus Rathan Mays, Noah Hill, and Pierre Couisnard Jr. Does that name Couisnard sound familiar? You bet it sounds familiar because just here recently, guess who is now on the coaching staff of Wichita State? Former Wichita State, PJ Couisnard. With potentially 4 spots on the 2025-26 roster still remaining and no veteran experience in the front court, Beatty could be the first of several big man additions for Mills. I think they like my ability to rebound the ball and go out there and defend and play hard, Beatty said. And there's still so much more I can develop. I can't wait to continue to get better there. So it's good when you have a player that wants to be here. You just hope that in the landscape of college basketball that some schools just don't become stepping stones to the next big school. Because as I read these comments in these chat rooms, the mid-major schools is pretty much the training grounds are, how do you say it, pretty much a farm system for Power 5 schools. Until they decide that they're going to put restrictions on the transfer portal, put a cap on some of this NIL stuff, this is the talk that's going around the cooler. The only schools that's going to benefit are the power schools. So I want you to weigh in on that. Tell me, what do you think about that as well, too? Once again, I want to let you know we're streaming live on YouTube. You can leave comments if you're watching. Twitch.tv. Also, Riverside.fm, the main carrier. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Like I said, there are a lot of headlines to get to. I still wasn't going to talk about this guy, but this was an article back on April 19th. And I just want to show you the idiocy of some people in sports media, which is why I say why I believe he's not on the major networks, because this guy has a big problem of inserting foot in mouth. The name, I said I'm going to give him no play, but I'm going to talk about him now. Jason Whitlock. His headline was this right here: DEI blamed for brutal Duke Final Four loss. The stuff that this man comes up with. I'm not going to go off on him like Stephen A. Smith did, but the things that he say just makes me just. And those of you who are watching this, I definitely want y'all's comments. I'm gonna post the YouTube link. If you're not watching it, I'm gonna post the YouTube link, and I want you to leave your comments in the comment section. But he says DEI blamed for brutal Duke Final Four loss. The Duke Blue Devils were the favorite to win the national championship in this year's edition of the men's NCAA tournament. However, the Blue Devils were stunned by a miraculous comeback from the Houston Cougars in the Final Four. Can I share something? DEI didn't have nothing to do with Duke not making shots. DEI didn't have nothing to do with Houston making shots when they counted the most and stifling Duke with that defense. There is one word that it was right, the D part, and that's defense. Houston ended the game on a 9-0 run to win the game 70-67, but the ending wasn't without controversy. Duke star was called for an extremely questionable over-the-back foul that proved costly. Now, one prominent member of the sports media, I use that word lightly, I'm just reading the print, is wondering if DEI may be the reason for the call. Here's the intended consequences of diversity, equity, inclusion. Typical bad call by a ref. I see it. Chalk it up to bad officiating. Because of DEI and constant race focus, I see it and wonder about the black ref who made the bogus call on the white kid, wondered Jason Whitlock on Twitter. Fans reacted to Whitlock on social media. What are you talking about? This take is crazy on so many levels. Refs make bad calls every day, but somehow you are blaming DEI for missed calls. Really? What that fan said right there. Anytime something happens involving with people of color or women, it's because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. One person wrote on Twitter. This might be the dumbest comment of all time. Amazing you have a platform as big as you do. Someone else added. Get them. Sick them. I don't talk down on here, but you are legit scum. Bad call, possibly, but that happens. Stop trying to race bait against your own kind. DEI. Ooh, let me read it again. I don't talk down on here, but you are legit scum. Bad call, possibly, but what? But that happens. Stop trying to race bait against your own kind. That's what Jason Whitlock does. That's how he rolls. That's his MO. That's his method of operation. For some reason, he just can't help himself. DEI has nothing to do with a missed call. Duke could not score the last 3 minutes. That's why they lost, another person wrote. It's certainly one of Whitlock's more bizarre takes. That post DEI, yeah. Whitlock, why don't you retire from sports media and go into something else and do us all a favor? Be like a banana and split. We're done with you. We're done with your kind. I heard Stephen A. Smith say it like this, and I normally don't like to take my show this route, but under the circumstances, I have more, and I know I'm going to catch some backlash from this. I know I am. But when you align Jason Whitlock up next to a Klansman, I have more respect for a Klansman than I do Jason Whitlock. At least with the Klansman, he lets me know what his intentions are. There's nothing flaky about him. I know where he stands. He'll know where I stand. But Jason Whitlock, even though you look like us, you're not like us. I want to apologize to those of you who really follow me and had to endure this and had to hear this. Sometimes you just got to get some things out. And that's been brewing like a volcano ready to erupt. And I'm sorry if that didn't come out. Y'all would probably have to hear from it eventually. So better get it out now than to let it fester. Anyway, we got that. Got that out. We got that out. So hopefully we won't have to deal with something like that again. Because yeah, hey, trust me, that same Jason Whitlock has something to say about the WNBA draft. The same Whitlock, when Caitlin Clark made the statements that she made after accepting Time Athlete of the Year award, and when she made the statements that she made, Jason Whitlock, once again, was one of the first ones to say, Caitlin, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. Yes, she did. You can't dictate what she does and doesn't do. If I didn't have no respect for Caitlin Clark, I gained a lot of respect for her after that moment when she said what she said, paying homage to those who paved the way for her to be where she's at. Something I don't believe I've heard Jason Whitlock do. Anyway, there's another young lady who was in the looking to get drafted, but she went undrafted. And I want to know your opinion. What do you think? Will she get a run from a team, or is some of her past baggage holding her back? And we're going to end it right here. But Sedona Price goes undrafted by WNBA teams amid violence allegations. Notice the word is allegations. I hope I can get through this story. But 4 years ago, Sedona Price was seen as a pioneer in women's basketball. Now, Prince will be a polarizing WNBA prospect as an undrafted free agent, both because of her age and a series of allegations of domestic violence and sexual assault. No team drafted Prince in the 38 pick draft. Monday night, ESPN reported live during the draft that the allegations factored in to the team's thinking. Prince was not present for Monday's draft, which took place in Manhattan at the Shed in Hudson Yards. The 24-year-old first made national headlines 4 years ago when she posted a viral video pointing out the disparities between the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. Prince will be 25 when the WNBA season starts next month and would have been the oldest player drafted since the New York Liberty took then 26-year-old Akiko Adika in 2023. Prince had a breakout season at TCU this year, averaging 17.2 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game while earning all Big 12 honors. At 6'7", she would be one of the league's tallest players. She is a double-double threat who could both anchor a defense and give a team an immediate scoring threat in the post. Prince's age is partially due to her medical history, as she missed 1 year with an injury and another due to a nearly fatal infection. She played at Texas, Oregon, and TCU in college. In January, Prince was accused of assault by her former partner. Both women filed police reports alleging they were assaulted, but neither was charged with a crime. In 2024, Olivia Stabile another former partner of Prince, posted a 10-part TikTok series accusing Prince of pushing her off an ATV and hitting her while they were vacationing in Mexico. At least 2 other women have accused Prince of violence or abuse since 2019. Prince was sued in September by a Jane Doe in a Texas court that alleged Prince grabbed Doe and forcibly kissed her after a date in 2022. It also alleged Prince took Doe's hand and forced it down her pants. The lawsuit was withdrawn by the plaintiff a few months later after it was filed. Prince has denied all allegations and was never suspended by TCU. Sedona has not been charged with a crime or found guilty of any wrongdoing, Prince's attorney A. Boone Almanza wrote in a statement to ESPN in a story published Saturday. Rather, she has been convicted on social media by people who have attempted to use the relationship with Sedona to attract followers and to build their influencer careers and settle grudges. To the extent she has made any mistakes different from other young people in their early dating life, it was solely the decision to be on TikTok. Prior to 2020, the WNBA and its players union did not have a domestic violence policy. Since its inception, the league hasn't suspended any players for domestic violence. Before it was instituted, it suspended several players who were arrested over domestic violence charges, including Brittany Griner and her former partner and WNBA player Glory Johnson. Both were suspended for 7 games in 2015 after both were arrested for suspicion of assault and disorderly conduct. So I want y'all to weigh in on that too. How serious are these allegations? Will Sedona Price eventually play in the WNBA? What team is willing to take on that backlash, that media firestorm? Because now we know the game, the WNBA, is definitely building up a head of steam. I know that's a terminology I use with my podcast, the A Train, building up steam. But seriously, do you see Sedona Price? Those of you who really are tuned in to the WNBA, do y'all see her playing? Because these are some serious allegations. Of course, now the attorney, his job is to defend his client. And as I was looking at some of those comments he was making, and yes, everything is on TikTok. But just like that name wanted to blame DEI, are we going to now start blaming TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook? Is that the route we're getting ready to take? Some things just make you wonder. Can't help but to wonder. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get on out of here because I've been wanting to say this for the longest too. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark was last year's microscopic individuals that kept people talking about the WNBA. Were they promoted wrong? From the beginning, I think they were. They were. How are they going to forever be connected? Yes, they will. All because of this right here. One did it, was glorified. The other one did it, and she was everything but a child of God. But did the WNBA by chance happen to miss out? And I also want to throw this out. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I want y'all to think about this because I'm not going to make this long-winded. I'm going to get out of here. What would it have been like if we would have had social media, the likes of what we have it, if we had it back during the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers. The glitz and glamour versus the blue collar. Would it be as toxic as we see it now when it comes to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? To those of you who are looking at this right now, and maybe looking at it later, and maybe listen to the podcast later, when are we going to grow up and appreciate the fact that don't everybody have the same skill set? Angel Reese is a double machine. You want to talk about it? Well, she missed shots on purpose so she can get her own rebounds. So you can't prove that's what she's doing. Caitlin Clark, she can shoot from the stratosphere, but Caitlin Clark is also commits a lot of turnovers too. All I'm saying is they have two different skill sets. Stop comparing the two because they're two different players. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were two different players, two different skill sets, but they were good for the game. A young lady was in the media and she said that a lot of Caitlin Clark fans like her because she's white. I like her because she can play ball. I like her because she has skills. I don't like Angel Reese because she's black. I like her because she's a ball player. She too can play. She has a different skill set than what Caitlin Clark has. And I can appreciate both of their skill sets at the end of the day. Paige Bucher's coming into the league. I'm pretty sure they're rolling out a red carpet for her somewhere. Whether you agree or disagree with her lifestyle, it's on the basketball court where we appreciate their skill set. But somehow there will be people in the media casting judgments. I'm not going to be one of them. I got my own faults to deal with. All I'm saying is moving forward, let's appreciate what these women do on the court. Stop making everything a comparison. Think about the days of the old WNBA, the Maya Moores, the Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie's. Oh, can I say Rebecca Lobo? They all had different skill sets, but they made the league what it was. They were the foundation that these women now stand on. Because who would have thought we'll be seeing that now these women have a league that's similar to the big three? Think about that. And it too is gaining a little bit of popularity. Anyway, my time is drawing near. Hope you have enjoyed the show today. Once again, I want to appreciate my guest, Alan Hanna, for being on the show. Bro, you rocked it. You brought me to another level. That's what I'm always say. I may have the #1 sports podcast in the state of Kansas, but it's not because of me. It's because of the great guests I have on. And like I said, I'm looking forward to having LJ Phillips on one day. Also, Coach Jordan Murdoch, he will be on the show. We're getting our wires crossed, looking at time frames. So look forward to having him on. Like I say, go back a long ways with his family. Great family to be around. Just ran into Johnny just the other week at Jumpstart gas station. Still the same humble young guy, So, like I say, he comes from great stock, as they say. So look forward to having him on the show. But like I say, this year is going to wrap it up for me. I might even go out to Wichita Forum and check out Addison Wood. She was a guest on my show. Y'all seen her on here. They're playing out at Wichita Forum. It's that time of the year. That spring basketball, that weekend travel basketball. So, y'all hear the music playing? It's time for me to bring things in to a close. We're bringing this train into the station. Until the next time, have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy it the best way you can. But stay smooth, stay cool, stay safe. I'm out.